Hello, I'm Alan Sklover, and this is SkloverWorkingWisdom.com, the blog site that's dedicated to giving you the power at work, the ability to navigate and negotiate for yourself on the job. I'm Alan Sklover, and for 25 years I've been helping executives worldwide navigate and negotiate for themselves at work, and this blog site is now dedicated to doing the same thing for you. This is our video number 10 entitled Involuntary Resignation, Standing Up, Not Giving Up to an Intolerable Situation at Work. In this video, I'm going to share with you some important insights about the concept, the idea, the event of resigning. You know, resigning has two different definitions. Resignation means leaving a job, but resignation can also mean giving up. It's important you understand that when you resign from a job for a positive reason, such as to go to another job or to relocate, that's not what we're talking about. That, in fact, would be a voluntary resignation. However, many people leave a job for a negative or an intolerable situation. And that's what we're talking about in this video, involuntary resignation. Now, what are the circumstances that give rise to an involuntary resignation? Well, the most common ones are extreme harassment. Another one is hostility at work that rises to the level of being intolerable. A third situation that gives rise to an involuntary resignation is the elimination of your job functions. A fourth is the severe reduction in your compensation or benefits. In these circumstances, if you leave your job, it is important to understand that that is an involuntary resignation, and you should understand there are important ways to deal with that. Now, what is the difference? Why should we care about a resignation being voluntary or involuntary? Well, there are 7 important differences, several potential benefits to you of an involuntary resignation. The first is that you may be entitled to severance for an involuntary departure, but not if it's voluntary. Likewise, an involuntary resignation may entitle you to receive savings accounts or deferred compensation that you might otherwise not be entitled to. For those of you who get stock or stock options, you may get vesting after an involuntary departure, not a voluntary one. For those of you who have signed non-compete agreements, very often non-compete agreements are not effective if you leave involuntarily. Everyone should know that unemployment insurance is not available to people who leave their job voluntarily, but unemployment insurance is available to you if you left for a reason that is reasonably categorized as involuntary. Many companies have repayment obligations if they give you or lend you money for education or relocation or things like that. If you leave involuntarily, you may not have to repay those monies. Lastly, when you leave involuntarily and you do it in the right way, you are preserving any potential claims you have against your former employer. So those are the 7 main benefits of an involuntary resignation. Now, how do you involuntarily resign? Well, first, it's important, if possible, to make some record of the circumstances, the facts, the events that give rise to your intolerable situation. It might be an email to Human Resources or to your boss. It is making a record. It must be in writing, preferably an email. Second, understand when you do involuntarily resign, you must do it in writing by some sort of email or some provable way. It's important to set a record of why you're leaving and the fact that it is involuntary. In fact, using that word involuntary is probably the most important thing to keep in mind. It's important to be specific, give facts, give events, say this happened on a certain date and that happened on a different date. Though you are reporting negative things, it's still important that you be respectful and this be written in a professional way. Don't be a screamer, be more effective, be more moderate in tone, and you will be respected. So, involuntary resignation might be a new concept to you, but it's an important concept. It can give you much greater benefits, much better terms of leaving than an ordinary voluntary resignation. It's important you do it in the right way as well. If you do an involuntary resignation, you can leave on better terms, and frankly, it is standing up to an intolerable situation, not giving up. It is cathartic. You will feel better about yourself if you leave a job, an intolerable job, in this way. For those of you who like, we offer for purchase for a nominal sum a sample or model involuntary resignation on our blog site. If you go to our blog site, skloverworkingwisdom.com, you will find that there is a detailed newsletter that deals with this subject in greater depth and copies of all prior newsletters on our blog site. You'll also find other videos we've done. This is our 10th in a series, so you'll see our other videos are available for your viewing, all free of charge. If you'd like, you can submit a question. I will answer it online, and you can see other questions and other answers from previous submissions. Like I said before, we also offer in what we call our private library sample model letters for you to use in standing up and navigating and negotiating for yourself at work. I'm Alan Sklover. This is skloverworkingwisdom.com, the blog site. I thank you for watching.